Flexible.
There you go. And I should think the story is pretty consistent, whether it's the beginning, the middle, or the end. Today was actually my first day back at the food bank in just over a week. I spent the last week in Toronto with the AGM from the community health centers, and their conference was all about poverty and health and how those things were linked together. There were some amazing speakers there, and it was very amazing information that I gathered. And then I went to Sudbury, and I've spent the last few days in Sudbury for the AGM of the Ontario Association of Food Banks. I happen to be on the executive with that association, so I kind of had to go. But it's also very valuable, the information that we were learning. I was there, and Gail Nyberg from Daily Bread in the GTA in Toronto, she was announcing her record-breaking stat that none of us were very proud of. They served over 1 million people last year through Daily Bread. 1 million. That's a lot of people. The stats from all of the food banks across the province were talking about how we're up 20%, they're up 32%. These folks, well, Ottawa wasn't up that much, but everybody else was up a lot. And when you put it across the board, we're now in the province of Ontario serving over 380,000 people every month. That's a lot of people. And the majority of those folks, or a third, in the case of the Agape Centre, a third of our clients actually have employment income. So we're up 20%. So we're not the highest in the province. Some of the northern communities that were even more dependent upon manufacturing as their income, they're hurting even worse than we are. So it's a pretty staggering number. It's not necessarily something that we're all thrilled about. Our biggest concern is that it's not done. I looked at my stats. I'm just doing them for the last month. Excuse me, for May, and I'm going to be up another 15 or 20% over last year. So year over year, it's not done. We haven't stabilized. We haven't seen the worst of this recession yet. I'm hoping that comes soon for a lot of our sakes. So today I was in the food bank, and I was just trying to get caught up because I've been out for a week, right? And one of our volunteers in the food bank came over and said, "Judy, what are we going to do? I'm out of food." "You're out of food?" "Well, we'll get you some more. What's the situation?" I said, "Did the volunteer not come in this morning to stock the shelves?" Because we stock our shelves in the morning for the food bank, and then we serve clients all afternoon. And this was about 12:30. Actually, it was about 1:30. Sorry, this is 1:30 in the afternoon. We start seeing clients at 1. Okay. She goes, "Well, it was big families that came through, so the stock was depleted, so we went down to the basement. We had more food in the basement, but not as much as we normally do. And so there was a few of us, we went down, we quickly restocked those shelves, and everyone was served today." But you got to wonder how long that's going to last. Our numbers, we're now serving over 1,000 people every month at the Agape Centre. That's for the food bank, and we give out 5 days worth of groceries. In the soup kitchen, our numbers are up 20%. We're serving about 112 people every day for lunch. So I'm giving you a lot of depressing, not happy news. I can't tell you all of the causes. Certainly the changes in the economy and the recession are having a huge impact on food banks across the province. We're doing the best we can. We are a Band-Aid. We are not the best solution. The best solution is income security for people in their own homes, straight up, and there's no doubt to that. The Ontario Association of Food Banks was involved with a report, and people are starting to wave that report a little bit around. And if you have the opportunity, I would encourage you, it's online at the OAFB website. It's called the Cost of Poverty Report. And in it, talks about how it costs this province $32 billion every year to deal with poverty issues. And if we invested even half that money into eradication and income supports, we would not have a poverty issue. So it's quite an amazing report. I would strongly encourage all of you to take a look at it. It gives you the statistical background as to why in the hell aren't people doing anything to stop this. Because it costs less to fix the problem than it is to deal with it. So we finally have that ammunition in numbers to sort of wave at politicians and to the community to let people know, because people usually look at poverty as something that it's a moral thing. When we can afford to do it, we should do that. We should help people when we can. And now that's actually a little piece of information that says, well, it's kind of stupid not to, because it's costing us a lot more not dealing with it than it is to deal with it. So anyway, I'm not sure exactly if that's the kind of info you were looking for, Elaine, but definitely there are some encouraging things, and having things like this going on in your communities. You're driving around the province, gathering information. Go to Queen's Park. You know, go to Parliament Hill, go to wherever you need to go. Organizations like ours, we all need to work together so that we all have our little piece and we support one another in how we try to deal with the poverty issues, employment issues, training, education, literacy. They are all interconnected. I mentioned at the beginning when I first started speaking that I was at a conference from the community health centers, and they declared that poverty is the key social determinant of health. The key. Like, it's the only one. Not the only one. But it is the key one, because of so many of the other social determinants of health. And how much is our health care costing us? So there's so many things that are connected into this, and it's very encouraging to see how people in local communities, the province, and even the country are now starting to pull together so that we have one voice in how to deal with poverty. Tomorrow I leave for the AGM for the Food Banks Canada, which is in Gatineau this year, and I'm going to hear about the numbers across the country, and they're not going to be any better than they are in the province. So again, it's one of those things. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Elaine. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll stay until my kids get rambunctious or the brownies run out, because apparently Gavin's very interested in brownies. But anyway, thank you very much, and have a good evening.